studio. My name is Lance T. Walker. I am your host with the most, and I'd like to welcome you, first of all, good to have you here. I'd like to welcome you to the premiere edition of the Career Pivot Playbook newsletter, audio version. You're here for edition number 1, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's get this thing started off with a bang. Happens to be one of my favorite subjects, so let's rock and roll right into it, shall we? First of all, the title of this edition is called High Tech, High Touch: Why Your DEI Skills Matter More Than Ever in the Digital Age. Okay, we've had a lot of upheaval, a lot of shifting in the culture, a lot of political animosity, different things going on around the DEI space. And I just want to let you know that you can be very positive in spite of the appearances and the way things look around you. Okay, things are not as they seem at all. Reality has not changed. The world is becoming more diverse all the time, and that's not going to stop simply because a few wolves in red hats don't have the ability to appreciate reality. So let's get started here. First of all, I want to let you know that you do have a free gift available to you simply because you came to this edition and you're listening to the sound of my voice. This free gift is a brief publication that's called From Limbo to Launch, Your Digital Career Reset Guide. And this has to do specifically with this whole idea of discovering what your purpose is for being on this planet. A lot of people never discover what that is. I believe it was Mark Twain that said the two most important days of your life are the day that you were born and the day you find out why. But believe it or not, you can actually discover this by asking yourself the right questions and giving it a little thought. Your spirit will speak to you, and you will be able to hone in on the reason you came to this planet. Obviously, being a DEI specialist, for those of you listening who might not know, that's diversity, equity, and inclusion, the art of wolf taming, as I call it, the idea that you can reshape corporate America and change people's minds, make them think about things in a more fair and equitable manner. Obviously, given the current political situation, that was not your primary purpose for being here. It was a stepping stone. So the question becomes now, as you seek to pivot and look to the next stage in your career, what is your actual purpose? See, for the next step, we kind of want to focus on going after the advancement of your career as opposed to just grabbing another job in order to keep the bills paid. Some of us may want to do that in the meantime, but we also want to make sure that we don't take our eyes off the prize and keep moving. Okay, so high tech, high touch: why your DEI skills matter more than ever in the digital age. Back in 2001, in his groundbreaking book, High Tech, High Touch: Technology and Our Search for Meaning, the futurist named John Nesbitt made a bold claim. The more high tech we become, the more high touch we must be. Now, he was speaking on a societal level there. Okay, the more high tech the society, the more high tech the culture becomes, the more high tech we have to be. Okay, it wasn't just a catchy phrase. It was what he called the one great mega trend of the new millennium. And today, a little over 2 decades later, we are living that reality. From AI writing tools to algorithm-driven hiring processes, the world of work is changing fast. Don't you know it, right? But while the headlines shout about automation, the real edge in today's workforce belongs to professionals with human insight, emotional intelligence, and a deep commitment to equity and inclusion. Equity and inclusion. Haha, sounds like you, doesn't it? Okay, where there's a lot of situations where people are trying to make you feel like you're outdated, or that the culture has shifted and your career field has disappeared, or that the world is passing you by. No. The reality is you are in the prime position to take advantage of this reality, and in fact, they did you a favor by putting you in the position to force you to take this next step forward. If you've worked in DEI, HR, coaching, education, or community leadership, you have likely honed some of the most essential soft skills of the 21st century. Now, what's the challenge with that? Many professionals in these high-touch fields are right now feeling left behind by technology, or worse, pushed out by it. Okay? They're experiencing what people would like them to feel as the great career reversal. Now, I've spent years training mid-career professionals, especially transitioning veterans and those coming from DEI and nonprofit spaces, how to bridge the tech confidence gap and pivot into new income streams, careers, or businesses. And I see the same familiar pattern again and again. Brilliant communicators who feel paralyzed by a spreadsheet. Visionary leaders afraid to start a side hustle because they quote-unquote aren't techie. Career changers overwhelmed by digital marketing, cloud tools, or AI-driven job boards. So, let me be blunt and frank about this. It's not you. It's the gap. And why is that important? Because that gap can be closed, either by you or by someone assisting you. Now, the Grown Folks Computer Club, which is the creator and sponsor of this newsletter, exists to help people with high-touch gifts build the high-tech skills or access the high-tech services they need to remain relevant, competitive, and fulfilled in today's workforce. That's you. Why now, and why DEI professionals? If you've been impacted by recent downsizing in corporate DEI departments, you're not alone, obviously. And while those layoffs may sting for the moment, they're not the end of your story, and I want you to know that. I want you to be very clear on that. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your pivot. You already have the things that technology cannot replace. Okay? Let's be clear on that. Technology skills can always be learned or accessed. Soft skills, on the other hand, the ability to speak with people effectively. Okay? Let me put some names to these. Cultural fluency, empathy-driven leadership, systemic thinking, resilience and communication under pressure. These skills are more valuable than ever, but only if you pair them with enough digital fluency to translate them into modern opportunities. This is where our coaching, our training, and digital support comes in. Not to overwhelm you with tech, but to give you enough clarity, confidence, and capability to turn your God-given gifts into digital success. Okay? So we want to start with clarity. Remember, at the beginning I mentioned your career reset guide? I want you to use that to give yourself a jump start. This is a brand new resource. It's called From Limbo to Launch, Your Digital Career Reset Guide. It's not a gimmick. It's a workbook containing 28 powerful reflection questions that help you pinpoint your next direction, align your work with your values, and start making decisions rooted in purpose, not panic. It's the Day 2 homework manual inside of my Career Pivot Accelerator program. Okay, I believe we're going to change that name to Pivot with Power Accelerator program. But I'm making it available to you as a free gift, okay, to all DEI professionals who are ready to move from survival to strategy. To get yours, all you have to do is take the short 10-question DEI Career Pivot quiz at the link DEICareerPivot.com. Let me say that again. DEICareerPivot, all one word, .com. Okay? So, just giving a little honest thought to these 28 questions will give you more clarity, more confidence, and more direction than most people get from a $3,000 retreat, and a clearer sense of how your DEI experience can evolve into something truly future-proof. So, what's coming next? This newsletter is the first in a 12-part series designed to empower mid-career professionals, especially DEI specialists and diversity-trained military veterans who are looking for new ways to grow, to pivot, and to thrive in a high-tech world. Over the next few articles, I'll be diving into topics like how to use AI as a tool, not a threat, turning your resume into a results-driven personal brand, building a digital side hustle with the skills you already have, making LinkedIn your networking headquarters, and finally, why mid-career professionals are perfectly positioned to lead, not just participate, in the digital economy. If this resonates with you, make sure you hit subscribe at the link that's it should be around this video somewhere in the description, and join us so we can stay connected. You've spent your career advocating for others. Now it's time to advocate for yourself. Let's launch the next chapter together. If you're ready to start now, don't let some out-of-touch billionaire decide your future. Get the free guide from Limbo to Launch by completing the brief quiz at DEICareerPivot.com. Because when your job isn't secure, your skills had better be. Your reset begins with clarity. Your pivot starts today. This is Lance T. Walker. I am the founder of the Grown Folks Computer Club and the creator of the Pivot with Power system. Final blurb here, just so you get a clear idea of what our purpose and what our mission is. The Career Pivot Playbook newsletter, Digital Moves for Grown Folks, is your go-to guide for mid-career professionals, DEI leaders, and veterans ready to reclaim their power in today's digital workforce. Each issue delivers sharp insight, real-world strategies, and mindset shifts to help you pivot with purpose, build digital confidence, and future-proof your income without having to start over. If you've got wisdom, work ethic, and something to say, but need a little help making tech work for you, this is your playbook. Welcome to the Grown Folks Guide to Reinvention. I'll see you next time.